was gonna say this. I was gonna say the same way that my computer, my work computer, the start menu shows up randomly.
Oh, what the? That has to be like a sticky keyboard.
Same way that a TV just.
Your TV was just disconnected.
One would say it's refreshing. Others would say it's foul play. Others would say the play is not foul. But you know, if you know.
I don't know.
I'm literally just saying shit. I'm just saying shit. We are Dylan-less today.
Oh shit! I did not know that.
For his sake, let's say he's working.
He's working.
That's what we'll say. But you know what? The show must go on. So let's welcome everybody to another episode of the True North Views podcast. Welcome to you all. We appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate you guys watching us, and we appreciate you guys being here. True North Views podcast. We are Toronto's unofficial podcast discussing hip hop, R&B, and the culture. And as usual, I go by the name of Harris.
Y'all know me, and if you didn't, I'm the skirt master, Mr. Triple Double himself. Racist. Stealing 70 mil. Can't wait for that 2021 update from the Toronto Transit Commission. You can call me. That's a good one, actually. You can call me Just Shola, and as usual, we are giving you our views from the perspective of a couple of first-generation Canadians.
And this time, a couple.
Yes, I did that on
rather than, what did you say for couple?
Couple
yes. Of or some shit?
A couple of, you know what,
I don't know anymore. I actually don't know anymore. But you know what? Let's let the people know where to find us.
Tell them.
You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. The same handle on each platform. It is at True North Views. Very easy to spell. Very easy to follow. On our YouTube, of course, you will get the full episodic experience. What are we wearing today? Did we both intend to do accent colors? Who really knows? We don't really know. We don't communicate these things ahead of time. But somehow, some way, it happens the way that it does. You can, again, listen to our content from there. Watch the full visual experience along with it. The more preferred way that a lot of our listeners prefer to consume us. So, you know, we definitely appreciate that. You guys keep doing that. And even if you don't do that, just play it in the background. You know what I'm saying? Private tab, also play it in the background.
Yes, you can do that.
Open your Safari browser, play it in the background. Open your Safari private incognito, and also play it in the background. Whatever amount of browsers that you have.
Mozilla Firefox.
You know what I'm saying? Firefox, Explorer, Microsoft Edge.
There's no more Explorers on Edge.
Whatever it may be. I still got Explorer on my little Windows 7 work computer. But, you know, whatever you got, just stream the YouTube. We definitely appreciate that. On our Instagram, let's go with Instagram. On our Instagram, you will find 60-second sound bites from the respective episode for the week. Pretty decent discussion that we had over this week. I don't remember what it is. Otherwise, I would have alluded to it.
But it's pretty good.
And including that 60-second soundbite that we do, we also do the 30-second random soundbite. Of course, we're using the Headliner app for that. Headliner did like our tweet, so you know.
Shout out to Headliner.
They should sponsor us, but you know that's a different story. We're working on it, but we do a random 30-second clip from the respective episode, and really the premise there is no matter which point you pick up listening to the podcast. It's going to be a great listen. It's going to be something that's worth paying attention to. And funny enough, even as I'm posting it, I'm curious when I get that notification. Your daily gram has been ready, or whatever it's called. I'm like, okay.
Oh shit! Which kind of Let's go.
Play. Okay. I'm like, okay, that's not bad. Post.
Some good ones.
129.4, 129.5, whatever it may be. So definitely follow that movement on Instagram. We appreciate that. And on Twitter, of course, you'll find, you know, random liking, random tweeting, retweeting, hashtag of the day, topic of the day, whatever it may be. Just know that at this point, we're in the 130s. I was trying to link that to 420 somehow. But
130.
Almost.
1 plus 3, 3 minus 1.
It was almost there.
You know.
It was almost there. But just know at this point that it is a 100% likelihood that if you see any tweet from the @TrueNorthViews Twitter account. That tweet happened while I was
back home smoking
meditating.
See, meditation is very important to do daily. And we're gonna lead into pre-potpourri very soon. But in some conversations that I've had, we've had conversations about meditation, and I brought up the point. Hey guys, it teaches you two very important things. It teaches you awareness and it teaches you acceptance. And if you can get those two ideologies fathomed within you, then you will get these Twitter fingers popping. You know what I'm saying? You'll get these Twitter fingers popping. So let's get the show started. Let's start with the pre-potpourri. How was your week? Mind, body, heart, soul. How are you feeling? What is up? What's good? What's good?
You start this week.
Shit. Okay. Okay, couple things. My fridge came.
Yes.
My fridge came, so I think you can kind of see it in the background. We bike to stainless steel.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? No more 5-foot white fridge.
Yeah, that fridge was pinch
covered. A loner fridge. I threw all the food away.
I would too.
I mean, like the
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the stuff like jars. Yeah.
So since I got my new fridge, I've been cooking. I've been eating healthier. I've been feeling better, and it's only been a few days. I'm feeling better in more than just the fridge weight. Now that I think about it, my Sephora package came. So Sephora, top of the line skincare.
Okay. That's the top of the
line
skincare.
My well researched beauty regimen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I would shout this person out, but we don't give names around here.
No
Shout out to NM. You know what I mean? Who? Did we still have that? Who? Did we remove that? Who? No,
we kept that. That's iconic.
It's true. But no, my skincare is immaculate now. I got my daily moisturizer. I got my night cream. I got my
Sephora
serum.
stuff came in too. Got my serum. I got my creams.
I've been had toner.
Jeez.
I got the sunscreen, the unseen sunscreen. If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
IYKYK.
I got the what else I got? I walled out though. I walled out. You know what I'm saying? And my skin already looks and feels better. So I'm happy about that as well. And this week,
you were as excited like a girl. You know when a girl gets a Sephora package? Okay, I was excited too when I got my Sephora package. I was like, let's go.
I got that 20% rouge. You know what I mean?
That's it.
If you know, you know.
IYKYK.
If you know, you know. Is that the name of the episode?
IYKYK. If IYKYK. Trust me.
No, you know. Okay. That might be the name of the episode. If IYKYK?
IYKYK.
That's weird.
IYKYK.
But man, listen. So, got my skincare, got my fridge, got that invite to. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it because they're not sponsoring us. But I got the invite to the house.
Okay.
That many have been speaking about to this point.
It's somewhat like a club.
It's somewhat like a club.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I've been in that motherfucker for hours.
Hey, we can tell.
But we got some ideas, man. We got some ideas popping for that. That really might take off. That app has about 10,000 members at this point. So I'm actually, I would say, I mean, jokes aside with that app, let's call it, according to Joe Budden, Chatterhouse. We'll just call it Chatterhouse.
Chatterhouse, okay. Chatterhouse.
Basically, with that app, I mean, firstly, when I kind of joined it, I was like, okay, what's the hype about? You know what I'm saying? What's going on here, right? Random conversations going on. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get the premise of it. Obviously, not knowing how to use it, I thought if you hopped in something, you were committed to. I'm like, yo, chill.
Like, I'm not trying to hop it.
Chill.
I'm in the house.
And then I saw a few chats with some industry people in it, so I joined those, listened to them, got the grasp of what the app is about. And then I joined some kind of, let's call them random rooms. Like, I saw a room that said, because basically, it's rooms. A chat room, right? You join a specific room. There's certain speakers in the room. And of course, you raise your hand, you can become a speaker. Otherwise, you're a listener, right? So, listened in a few rooms, kind of got the hang of it. Saw some random rooms. Like, there was one that said, like, your positive daily affirmation for the day.
No, that's just
and I was like, you know what? I don't mind this little AM radio random podcast type feel where I'm just getting my mind going for the day.
Telling you some good shit about it. You're gonna do some good shit today. Like, who doesn't want to hear that?
And I'll tell you what, it was like there was maybe 20 of us in there, maybe 15 of us were talking, and that was my introduction to talking. I think at that point I started to understand what the app was about because
Now you're
not
participating.
was I talking participating, but I was in there way longer than I thought. Before I was just peeping in for 2 minutes. Oh, okay, ha, ha, ha.
I get it.
And then I'm out. But I was engaged, and I was like, shit, like these are just random folks. Okay, follow, and then everyone's following you back. So you know, it's a where I'm going with that is, and obviously, like I'm not like raving for that,
Yeah.
right? But what I am saying is that probably the first social media platform that I'm really potentially embracing since Facebook, Twitter,
Gotcha.
or let's say Twitter, Instagram, right? So I'm looking forward to see where that app goes. I'm curious about
You
it.
told me about it, and it sounds it has the potential.
I'm curious about it, so you know I'm gonna see what I go on with it. But no, otherwise, I mean the week has been pretty decent, man. I set the plan at work, and so far we've been hitting. So new fiscal, obviously, with work. I mentioned that November 1st. So the way that I'm looking at it, it's a new year for me in a lot of ways, and 15 days into the new year, it's been a success so far.
That's
so
good then.
you know, feeling good, having a good week. How about yourself?
You know, it wasn't as good as yours. I didn't get a new fridge. But, you know, it was whatever. You know, honestly, it was just a whatever week. You know, ups and downs, ebbs and flows. It was just, you know.
Ebbs and flows, money goes.
That's it. It wasn't really nothing special. I'm trying to think if anything special happened.
But no money comes.
No, nothing. Maybe, no, nothing. No, that's it. Literally nothing special. I'm not even trying to draw. You know what? I'll talk about Netflix. Just quick sidebar before we get into the music. Utopia, you know, you told me to watch that. I watched that shit like in 2 days. Pretty Little Fire Liars. I love that show.
What?
Everywhere Liars.
Pretty Little Fires?
The Lighter Fires, the fire one with Kerry Washington. Fires Everywhere.
Fires Everywhere? I don't know what it's called.
Little Fires Everywhere. I mix up with Pretty Little Liars all the time.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, I finished that show. So that's all I've been doing lately. Just work, home, watch TV. I'm back here. Let's go.
Low-key, I haven't been watching anything.
So
I found myself wasting 4 hours at one point on Chatterhouse. 4 fucking hours. I couldn't believe it. It was ridiculous. And it was in a participatory...
So were you actually like...
The conversation was, is Drake top 5 all time?
That's got you 4 hours.
I mean, you know what? Let me say first. Music potpourri.
But you know
Why
what?
the fuck not?
Let's get into that.
The conversation was... Because I'm going to talk about that. So, okay. Yeah. So, one conversation I had on this app...
And then, you know what?
Was... Is Drake top 5 all time? Now, the question kept going back to, well, what do you mean top 5? Are you meaning artist or are you mean... And the best answer to that, which I learned from that room, the best way to answer that question, I'm talking about top 5 rap artists.
Rap artist?
Because you're no longer saying... Because we always break down into lyricists. It already has the specification. Yeah. So why is it that whenever we're talking about top rappers, we still need to specify that? If we meant lyricists, we'll say lyricists. Mm-hmm. If we meant people like I don't even know, we'll
Aesop
say
Rock.
we'll say the P Diddy's of the world. But top 5 rappers as a top 5 rap artists, right?
Yes, he is.
So is Drake a top 5 rap artist of all time?
Is.
And that's what I had mentioned as well. And a lot of people were saying that there's too many asterisks on his resume.
Hey, man.
The Quentin Miller stuff. They still allude to the Pusha T stuff, which I mean, whatever. But and this is not like I'm not speaking from a Drake stan perspective. I just realized in the first 30 seconds how it may look. How it may look that way. No, I'm just trying to speak objectively here. But that was one of the conversations on there.
You can still be a GOAT and still take... You can still take L's and still be a GOAT. Or not GOAT, but you can still be top 5 and still take L's.
Now again, let's say top 5 ever, right? So some of the common names that people were saying, as you can imagine, Jay-Z, Eminem's name was brought up, Tupac's name was brought up, Biggie's name was brought up.
But we see, the thing about being a Tupac, my problem is...
They're cemented.
It's like they died young. Like, of course we don't want them to die, but they died young. They were 25, 26, if I'm not mistaken. Drake's 33,
and
you gotta take that into consideration when doing that all-time list.
I draw this comparison with that comment specifically, and I'm not comparing the artist.
Exactly.
And I hate that we have.
We're never comparing. We're just.
Do you remember 2 artists specifically in today's generation that younger folks have classified as legend? Triple X and Juice
Juice
WRLD,
WRLD, yeah.
right? And again, I'm not comparing to any capacity.
I see what you're saying.
In other people's eyes, it's like they didn't do much.
I understand that.
And in others' eyes, it's like they were everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you ask, it at least begs the question, does Tupac, Biggie to some degree face that same kind of uplift in their rank? But nonetheless, those are two common names that were mentioned.
So
Kendrick's name was mentioned as Drake's
Kendrick.
really only contemporary from this era to otherwise be plugged into that conversation.
I think, and this is something I was going to bring up later, but eventually, like not now, but I think 10 years from now, Kendrick will be compared to Jay-Z, in my opinion.
I don't get it.
Just talent-wise, like, at the end of the career. Like, not end of the career, but 10 years from now.
In terms of, like, GOAT status?
Yeah, GOAT status.
Jay-Z, in a lot of ways, is meant... Jay-Z... average rank on Yahoo Fantasy Draft would be like a 1.4.
And what's Kendrick?
Right? 6.8.
I'm saying 10 years from now, Kendrick could be a 1 point something.
Really?
I think so.
Okay, so that was part of the conversation as well.
But that's just a side.
I don't want to stay on this too long,
Exactly.
but part of the conversation as well was a longevity conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We were saying, when will Drake have an issue with longevity? Because one could argue, again, I talk to younger folks and you ask them, who do you listen to?
It's not
Drake
Drake.
is not the artist that's mentioned.
Yep.
Right? So it begs the question at the very least, does Drake lose that relevance? Is Drake past his prime?
No. You know, I know why? Because Take Care is still in the Billboards. 2 or 3 of Drake's albums are still in the Billboard top 200.
Well.
You cannot, like, just because it's not number 1 every week does not mean that it's not pushing numbers compared to who you think is going to be bigger than Drake.
I do agree.
That's my opinion. Like, don't sleep on Drake, man.
I absolutely
Take Care
agree
is
with that.
pushing, breaking records from the longest streak of years on the top 200. People can't even break 200.
And then another extension of that conversation, again, I'm just sharing the conversations that's happening since it is the music potpourri. Another extension of that conversation is, I mean, when you look back at Drake's resume over the last decade, I think it's been like, 11 projects in 9 years, something like that, right? Let's say a project a year, right? None of his other contemporaries have done that. Big Sean has not done that. J. Cole has not done that. Wale has, but more EP style, single style, package style as opposed to album. Kendrick has not, obviously.
Definitely no.
And you know, just anyone who has been his contemporary has not, whereas he has. It was sort of a 2-part conversation. It was one, does Drake ever branch off into something else primarily? The way Kanye is primarily clothing, Jay-Z is primarily ownership, Dr. Dre is primarily audio, or is he a Eminem type person where it's going to always be music primarily? That was one part of the conversation, and then the other part of that conversation was this annual thing. Rihanna stopped because guess what? She found Fenty.
Yeah.
Right? So for Drake, even though he's doing things, first of all, when does something else become the focus, if it ever does? And maybe if you can't answer that question, can you answer this question? When does he stop releasing annually?
Eventually.
When does he become a 2-3 year artist? When does he become a pick year artist like a Kendrick?
Because even though he does release that much body of work, it doesn't feel annually.
It does. Because every summer it feels like he has the record.
Yeah,
If
he has
not,
the
might be
record.
5.
But exactly, but it just doesn't. Like, I don't
And
know,
it always
doesn't
is packaged to some kind of project or album, whether it's Dark Lane demo tapes or
I know
nothing was the
Club,
same,
yeah, or
right?
Club Paradise or whatever that thing was. Not Club Paradise, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Quarantine Pack or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called, but
I get it though.
well,
I get it.
So I mean, let's
I get
try to
it.
answer the question because I do have my answer that I mentioned in that chat. I do want to hear your answer. Not to speak to what that other lane would be because that would be a long conversation. When does Drake stop making annual projects?
He will eventually. I don't know when.
Give me a year. 2030, 2035,
2020.
You know what I mean? Like
By 2020.
rap is evolving.
By 2023, he's done
You
doing
think in
that.
3 years Drake is done coming out annually?
Yes, annually, yes.
Okay.
And he might not even divert his like interests. Like Saul comparing to like Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
What was Michael Jackson doing other than music? Like I'm not.
And that's why I use Eminem, right?
Yeah.
You know, I
Eminem
think
is a good
Eminem is still
conversation.
active, especially now. He resurfaced in a lot of ways. He could have that Eminem path where it's just all music all the time, right?
And he's always going to
Because he does other things. Obviously,
Yes.
Drake does like whatever Drake touches.
Exactly. Whatever Drake touches is gold. Like
OVO has
is
the
gold.
sports
League.
2K League team. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so it's like
OVO's gold. Like,
and then OVO the brand, obviously, but
yeah.
Drake is still music first in a lot of ways. My answer to that question, because we were almost talking about more so from the perspective of the decade, and in that perspective, I was like, I mean, I could see 2026, 2027 being when he kind of stops. I think what he's going to try to do is he's going to stretch out as long as possible before he makes his 444. And then once he makes his 444, he comes out with, you know, 1 or 2 projects after that, and then it stops doing it annually. And I think that 444 type project is 2 or 3 years away. So I think that 444 type project happens in a 2023.
Yeah.
But then he still comes out in 2024, still comes out in 2025, maybe 26, and then he's like, okay, I'm cool. Personally. And then other people were like, nah, he's just gonna keep going.
Everyone has their own opinion, man. We can't predict the future.
Of course.
We don't.
But it was a very fun conversation,
That's fun.
for sure. And that's when I started to say, I fucking love this app. I'm addicted to this app. It's ridiculous.
4 hours later.
And I'm definitely gonna adopt it. Another conversation that happened on that app. Moving on to another topic here. So again, as I mentioned, some of the chats, let's call them, have industry folk in there, right? Often you see Joe Budden in a conversation. You'll see Punch from TDE in a conversation. You'll see DaniLeigh, battle rapper, of course, in a conversation.
Big face tattoo.
I think like Kari Folk.
Okay, yeah. I think you showed me that one.
I saw Keisha Shante. Like
Keisha
industry
Shante?
folk are just
Okay.
on this app,
They're in the
right? Tyrese is becoming a name that people are really starting to follow on that app as well. Nonetheless, going back to some of the first 2 names that I mentioned, Joe Budden, Punch. There was a conversation that was going on. It was titled, "Is TDE the best label in the West?" But the conversation quickly became, "Is TDE the best label in music?"
Oh.
And I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know
Some
the
other
answer.
names that were brought up, obviously, they're going to bring up Dreamville.
Okay,
They're
so
going to
yeah.
bring up QC.
QC, yeah.
They're going to bring up
OVO. I'm playing.
I mean, no. But OVO's name was brought up,
Who the
obviously.
fuck? You know what? Drake is so big that he brings up OVO on its own. Like.
James Harden, right? Some people were mentioning Ibrahim, which is Dreamville's manager, is a better manager than Punch. And I'm like,
We don't know. This is. I can't say that.
we're talking shit,
yeah.
right? We're theorizing. We don't know the insides, obviously, but we're just giving based on perception of.
Yeah.
And I would say that is an argument because you look at the last 2 years of Dreamville, especially once they brought on JID and Earth Gang. There's a conversation to be had.
Yeah,
Ari
that
Lennox,
was huge.
there's a conversation to be had there. So that conversation was going on, and then again, just the conversation of, is TDE the best label, let's say, in music? What are your thoughts on that?
That's
How would you
hard.
articulate that?
You know, with good music out there, I'm playing.
I mean, hey, good music is still
It is.
a conversation because Chainz just came out. Ye, although it's not primary, is still active.
That's your Big Sean.
Pusha T, we're still waiting
No,
on it.
we're not that album, but
Big
Daytona
Sean
was
just
amazing.
came out. Like, good is still a conversation, so
That's
you
true.
can't even jokingly say.
I honestly, TD, no, just because. Actually, wait, nah. I'm putting a blank on other record labels right now, but I
So
just
am
can't
I,
give it to
in
TD.
a lot of ways. But I don't think I can give it. But I can though. That's the thing, is that I feel like all of their artists has reached a certain level.
Yeah, and I do that. That I do
Right?
agree with.
Let's use the 2K reference. Everyone on that team has a rating above 78.
Yes. I
Right?
agree.
Whereas some other labels, regardless of if they have the 99 rated,
They
player,
still have some
they have a
rated-
71.
They have a 60 some of
You know what
them.
I'm saying? Some of them have a 60. You know,
It weighs you down a lot, though.
you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think in a lot of ways, like the team's average rating is probably the best in the league.
Yes. But to say it's the best, if
It's
it
hard.
was to go to like head to head
It's hard.
with another team, some teams can go. Some teams have a few players that can carry the team.
And then that conversation, and then I guess we'll get off this point after this. That conversation extended to, is TDE not to say the best ever, but people started mentioning some all time. So they're like, what?
Death Row.
Saying TDE's better than Death Row?
Definitely.
And then Punch was like, well, Snoop said it. Snoop said it on stage, which is a fact. He did say that. So, Death Row was brought up. Cash Money was brought up.
Cash Money. Ooh, Cash Money.
Cash Money.
Cash
Yes.
Money, nah.
Yes, don't do that.
They had like one album and that was it. And Wayne had to carry them after that. Come on. We all know that. They had
Shout
one
out to,
album.
Uncle Vic Rants, my boy Uncle Van
They
Glorious.
had one album and then
You're
Wayne
gonna
carried
have a-
them the rest of the way.
You're gonna
I
have
said
a
that.
field day
You wouldn't
with
call.
that comment, and that was around the 25-minute mark. You are gonna have a great time with that comment. I can't wait. Rockefeller was brought up as well. Bad Boy was brought up. One
Bad
person
Boy.
said Bad Boy might be the best ever.
I
Locks,
agree.
Mace, Diddy, Biggie,
Yeah.
Kent, you know what I mean? It might be the best. Mary J. and a lot
King
of ways.
Combs.
Faith Evans and King Combs.
Carrying the
Man
anthem right
said
now.
King Combs. Again, just very, very interesting conversations
I like
going
it,
on,
though.
man. And as they happen, I'm very happy to kind of bring them here, report them here, and see where that conversation goes from there. But the TDE one is a real head scratcher for both questions. When you bring in all-time comparisons, and when you also ask, are they the best label in music right now? Because in a lot of ways you say yes, in a lot of ways you say, I don't know. So that alone leaves for a total answer of I don't know.
It needs more research, I'll say. Like, it's something I'm like, alright, come back to me in 2 weeks and let me research and look at.
TDE being the best label in music is like saying Andre 3000 is a top 3 MC to me.
Yeah, like, I won't argue. I won't argue.
And I
you.
won't argue it.
But if you want to say come with like guaranteed put in stamp, I'm gonna put your word to this. I'm like, wait, hold up, let me do some research. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
It's true.
But like off the rip, I won't fight anyone for that. It's like you say LeBron or Jordan's the best. I'm like, yeah, whatever, man.
But if you say Kevin Durant is the best,
I mean, alright, chill.
but then I can say, but listen, though.
I'll say
One-on-one. Kobe said it. You're telling me Durant's not cooking? I'm not.
Nah.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Nah. But Durant's nice.
Shit, they deleted the tweet. Okay, so let me load up the article. That's why I put both. Let's move on here to Ticketmaster.
They actually deleted the tweet. Wow.
You talked about watching Pandemic. What's that shit
Utopia.
called? Utopia.
You watch that? It's on Amazon Prime.
Succession. There's just that 10,000 movies with one name
Yes.
that are about the same goddamn thing. So that one's called Euphoria. What's it called?
You just said Utopia.
Utopia. So that was called Utopia.
Premise of the movie, I'm about to spoil it for you, so spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. For the next 10 seconds, spoiler alert.
A company created a virus, and then the only way to get rid of the virus is by putting in a vaccine. They created a vaccine, and there's some shit in the vaccine. I can't remember the rest. So go watch the show.
And then you mentioned something else about the way they preface the episodes.
Yes, and they started every episode with this, like a black screen and then white writing. This is not based on real life events. It's all fictional, blah, blah, blah. Cover their ass.
Okay, so last week we talked about adrenochrome. And I'm not going to bring that up again, but the reason why I brought that up is because we were getting into conspiracies a little bit, right? This type of conspiracy, or an extension of a conspiracy, is that there is a plan for 2030, and they're going to use, of course, the decade of 2020 to get to that.
Yeah,
and
I can see
mentioned
that.
it already, and I said 1948 like a goof. Last time it's 1984. I always mixed up that year for some reason. Being the movie, book, that kind of thing, that Big Brother type of approach. So moving into that digitized world, a lot of people are against a lot of things technology related, a lot of things that feel forced, etc. And Ticketmaster is in the news because they're doing some things that a conspiracy theorist would go crazy for.
Oh, yes.
Right? So I'm going to read this headline here. The headline reads the following: Ticketmaster is exploring COVID vaccination and a test for when concerts return. I'm going to read the actual article here so you can get some more context. Just put that water away. So it says here, figuring out what to wear to a concert will take a back seat to your COVID-19 status when tours resume in 2021.
Tell me more. I'm trying to be
Ticketmaster
dramatic.
is exploring a safety plan to help welcome back its fans. The ticket sales company is reportedly in the early stages of developing a plan that event operators can use as a safety measure to mitigate the spread of the virus. One path that Ticketmaster is actively exploring and working to develop is a framework for syncing with third-party healthcare providers to link COVID vaccine status and or, which means they're also going to include COVID vaccine status and or test results to fans' digital tickets for event entry. It's ultimately up to the event organizers to figure out ways to bring safety back to its fans to live events. And this is one idea that Ticketmaster is spitballing. Now, I'm sure they really are just spitballing.
Yeah.
So let's not,
Let's not go
take
in.
away from that.
Let's not go in yet.
But how do you feel about that?
Nah, that's my medical records. That's private, I believe. I don't believe a concert organizer needs to know my damn private record.
Have you ever taken a COVID test?
No.
Neither have I.
I don't plan on, knock on wood, but like, I've never had a reason to. Let me put it that way. No, I don't plan. I've never had a reason to.
Likewise.
I don't plan.
I would ask about the vaccine, but there's, I don't want to be mislabeled. So I'm not going to ask about that.
And that's a good thing. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I'll end it there.
Let's just end that,
Exactly.
that part there. Okay, so again, look, we're just playing around here.
Mm-hmm.
What if Ticketmaster said, all you got to do is show us your test results? Nothing about vaccine. Just show us your test
Let's go
results.
fake one. That's fine. I know how to use PDF editors. I'm cool. Make that shit look brand new. Remember that be anyway. I'm not gonna say what I've been editing, but
Otherwise, also what I want
that's
to
really what I
ask,
would do.
so they say vaccine and or test results. They are just spitballing this. Let's just play assumption here. And this idea says, hey, great idea. We're going to move forward with this idea as a full idea, right? Do they... Basically what I'm asking is, are they part of the 2030 world?
Yes. Yes, they are. That's the only way to see people live now. I'm telling you.
The only way to see people live is to take this vaccine
Yes.
that coincidentally got approved the day after the election to manipulate the market, but we're
not politics podcast.
We're not. I mean, I
We're
work
just
in economics,
observers.
so I see it happen when I see it happen.
We observers.
But okay. I don't even know where I'm going with this. But
Yes, they're part of the 2030 plan. The only way to see people alive is I know when you raise your shirt, they check that scan, beep beep, and it scans you.
Are you getting a microchip in you?
That's what's going on when you get that vaccine. I mean, sorry, what?
I'm saying like
I'm playing, but you know what I'm trying to say is that some shit about this is going to be digitalized, and once it's digitalized, you know where it's going.
Would you take $75,000 a year before tax from the government to install a chip in your wrist to know where you're at all times?
Or 75,000 a year
So,
on top of my regular work? That's a lot, you know. As long as you're not doing nothing bad, think about it. Think about a free. What are you not real that bad? Like, unless you're killing a man.
30.
Unless you're killing a man, is it for life?
Yo,
Would you take it?
I don't know.
No. I've been thinking. I'm like, I kind of want to say yes, but no at the same time.
I mean, I'm obligated to say no.
Yes, I could be. Well, yes, no.
Very
yes.
obligated to say no.
But it's funny. It's a
Man,
good question.
come on.
That's a good question.
We're worth a little bit more than that, man. Let's not do that to ourselves. But let's move on. I didn't read this article, so I wanted to actually read it for the first time.
Okay.
But Billboard did an article with a number of R&B women. Summer Walker was a part of this.
Jeez.
Kehlani, Jhene Aiko, as well as Teyana Taylor, and they speak on the state of R&B. So I want to read a bit of this article. These 4 artists are powering an R&B renaissance with their honest as hell lyrics and potent new sounds, but they're still encountering the same old industry roadblocks. So that's interesting. As streaming, excuse me, that's just a throat clear. Let me drink some water. As streaming opened the door for hip-hop to dominate the music industry in the past few years, many executives and artists are worried that R&B was getting left behind. This year they have reasons to be hopeful. R&B is not nearly as big as hip-hop, of course. It has a market share of 7.43% of overall album consumption units so far in 2020, compared to 19.17% for hip-hop, according to Nielsen Music /MRC data. Yet, it's growing by 4.64% in market share compared to this time last year. Hip-hop's market share, by comparison, grew less than 1%. So obviously, it was 19 and it been 19.
Yeah.
Right? In the same period. As the genre catches up commercially, it's having a renaissance artistically, and one that is largely powered by women singer-songwriters who are reimagining and reinterpreting its sounds for new generations of listeners. Of the 14 releases that have reached number 1 on Billboard's top R&B albums chart in 2020, 9 of them have been from women. So that's great to hear. Among these 4 cover stars are Billboard's annual R&B Hip-Hop Power Players issue with her professional relationship anthems. Casually Cool Kehlani, 25 years old, scored a career number 2 debut on the Billboard 200 with It Was Good Until It Wasn't. We have introspective Jhene Aiko, 32 years old. She pushed her atmospheric sound to experimental places on Chilombo, which in March also debuted at number 2. We have Teyana Taylor, of course, with her The Album. That gave her a top 10 entry on the Billboard 200. And of course, Summer Walker, she obviously set records with her album Over It. And that was the biggest streaming week for an R&B artist at the time, last fall. So I'm just going to skim to see what they're talking about here.
They asked them a bunch of questions.
Everyone has their own style, of course. Teyana Taylor mentioned. What'd you pull from the article?
Well, they asked them all a bunch of different questions. Y'all just gave their answers.
Okay.
How do you find R&B?
Obviously, some other peers are mentioned. Her, SZA, Solange, Ella Mai, Queen Naija. There's a few names, of course, that are very prominent in R&B, especially with women R&B specifically. Once you bring the men into the conversation, I mean, you add people like Masego to that. And there's a lot, Xavier Omar, there's a lot of good music out. You know what I'm saying? Ty Dolla $ign as well.
If you scroll to the bottom there, they have a Where's R&B Headed from here. I just want to read that from their answer. That's like the last bunch, right before the cover is.
At the very bottom?
Yeah. Well, it keeps on scrolling. It's a really stupid weird page. Like, it's right after there. Or right before that part, before this billboard. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that's the whole point of the article is at that part. Where I don't know what their opinion, being in R&B, what they think it's going. Because I don't listen to R&B, so I'm not going to give my advice on where I think it's going. I didn't know it grew this much.
Yo, my shit be struggling.
All right, so where's R&B headed?
Please.
Jhene Aiko. R&B is headed to a good place because it blurs out so many lines with its different sounding styles. But I also feel it's always underrated, and but I feel it will always be underrated, which I do agree with.
I 100% agree with that.
Most of the things we talk about are too real for everybody to understand. And I won't say that necessarily.
I think
R&B is for people who are really here and really feeling, and that's why I'm saying that she shouldn't. Like, I get what she's saying that it's too real. I think it's just like it's one of those like you don't bump it. It's personal. That's why it's never going to be. Like, it's always going to be underrated because it's more personal sometimes.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of times
I can see that.
R&B is more personal. But I won't say it's for too real. Sometimes I don't want to feel that way. It's not like it's too real.
You don't want to tap into your emotions?
Kehlani says R&B is going to keep on evolving, keep getting cooler, more personal, which I agree with.
There you go.
I hope it evolves to where we can call each other up and collaborate more than just one song.
I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
You don't have to cross genres. Like, when I leave this third verse open, it's automatically going to a rapper. Fair enough. I like that.
Kehlani said that?
She doesn't like that. She wants JoJo on that verse, not a rapper. Kehlani also said, "I love that R&B is the realest bitch." That's a bar. Okay, sorry.
Man. Got bars.
I'll quickly finish this. Taylor said, "Will always be here when an N-word is in his prime of his life, when he wants to deal with." When he wants to deal with everyone, but there's always that one girl that's going to be there for him. When he's ready to get it all together and settle down, that's who's going to be looking for. That's who he's going to be looking for.
And that's R&B?
Yeah, that's R&B.
Shit, I mean, I think she summed it up.
That's what I feel R&B
to be
is.
honest with you.
R&B is always going to be the realest bitch. Oh, R&B is always going to be the realest bitch in the world. And Kehlani said, I love that. R&B is the realest bitch.
Holy.
Shout out to the end, and pretty much that's it.
But yeah, I mean, just moving off of this topic, I actually completely agree with them. I think R&B in a lot of ways is underrated. I think,
it is, I agree.
I would encourage everyone to maybe listen to a little bit more R&B. I think it's a palate cleanser in a lot of ways. I think it does tap into those other type of emotions, and I think those type of emotions are necessary.
Yes.
To complete you as a person. So listen to more R&B, goddammit. That's really all I got to say about that. And the women are killing it. There's some great albums out. And I can't wait to have that top R&B.
I gotta put that list together this week. I'm actually gonna put it together.
That's gonna be real good.
So put together the end of the year, topics.
Keep it or leak it, though.
Let's keep it.
Let's get to that. Keep it or leak it. We're gonna start with Will Smith, or obviously Fresh Prince.
In West
Did you see this? Because I didn't watch it yet.
I've not. I didn't even see the when they post something there. I usually don't look at it if I can.
Okay, so
who's going to take us down? Sony Music probably owns that somehow.
There is says the Banks family is back. I'm gonna play it on mute because we're not gonna get taken down. It's not gonna happen to us again. Banks family is back. They bike. They're doing a reunion, man. The Freshest Family reunion. The trailer for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reunion special is out, and it looks great. So they're in the house, of course, the
set.
The house, the set. It's all of them there, of course. Minus Uncle Phil. Rest in peace, definitely. I think they had both Aunt Viv's there, if I wasn't mistaken.
Describe.
I saw a picture. I saw a picture that Will Smith had posted.
I'm here for it. Keep it.
Yeah, I'm 1,000% leak, right? I'm 1,000% here for this. I think it's gonna be special, man.
I'm low-key watching the trailer. I have to watch this trailer. I
still don't want to complete the trailer. Like that's how I feel about that.
I don't. Oh, I just saw Jazz. Oh fuck. I don't want to watch it. I just saw Jazz and I'm like, nah.
I'm real interested. In that. I mean, it's been teased for a little while. I think people thought it was gonna be a reboot or
I thank God it wasn't.
A new season, but I think this is perfect.
That's why I want this. I'm like, don't do anything else. Just give me a quick reunion. How's everyone been? It's sad that we don't get Uncle Phil. Low key, high key, it is sad, but that's life.
Definitely.
So leak that shit.
Yeah, no, it's 100% leaked for me, and I think it actually comes out soon. I think it comes out. I want to say the 19th actually.
That's next week.
So
no?
that should be
Monday.
Sometime this week.
Thursday.
Sometime this week that you're listening to this. Is when this comes out. So
Thursday.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's 100% leak, and I can't wait to watch it. I'm gonna watch that right away.
Oh yeah, straight up.
I'll be on that right away.
Where's it dropping? Did they say?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to watch that far in the trailer. But we got some shout-outs.
Shout-outs!
So let's get into these motherfucking shout-outs. The first shout-out is in order to The Weeknd. We're giving Weeknd a shout-out because he has been announced as the next Super Bowl halftime performer. Let's give that a round of applause. It makes perfect sense. They've been priming The Weeknd up for this moment.
This man made it from Toronto.
I'm gonna jokingly intertwine that in Keep or Leak. Do you want to see The Weeknd at the Super Bowl?
Yes.
1,000%.
Yes.
I agree with that as well. I think he's gonna kill it. I think
he's a really good performer. Really,
definitely.
As much as he's not in the spotlight, he's still a good performer. And his music
in the spotlight though. What do you mean?
He's not like
superstar level.
Not like, but like he's not like on social media. Like, oh guys, like he's not like Kylie Jenner. Like that's what I mean. Like he's more private than a lot of other people. But like I mean. For someone that's private, he's a good performer.
Yeah, no, he's a real good performer, and I think we saw his VMA performance. Very visual artist as well. So to have potentially, NFL's going to do fans. I was going to say virtual.
That's just going to be packed.
That's just going to be packed.
So many people beside him. When they do the crowd and they come down onto the grass, they're going to be there. Trust me.
God.
So, it's US and NFL.
A corporation that has obviously billions to spend on entertainment because viewership is one of the most important things to them. I can see they can go crazy there.
Well, they went wow.
I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's shout out to him for sure.
Shout out to him.
And the next shout out is in order for Young Jeezy. He has become an executive at Def Jam. Let me read this article title here. Jeezy inks a new Def Jam deal. I can't even talk. Jeezy inks a new Def Jam deal. That's hard to say 5 times fast. Def Jam
Jeezy
deal.
inks a new
No, just
Def Jam.
Def Jam deal.
Def Jam deal, 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 Def Jam deal. No, it's not like that. Yo, Jeezy inks a new Def Jam deal. Jeff Dam deal. Jeff Dam deal. What's his position, man?
See, now you're saying Jeff Dam deal. Jeff Dam deal. So Jeezy inks a new Def Jam deal. And he will also serve as the senior advisor to the label chairman. We read very little of this. So Jeezy is not leaving Def Jam anytime soon. Not only has he signed a new deal with the label, but he'll also serve as a senior advisor to the interim chairman and CEO. His name is Jeff Harleston, right? So just shout out to that. I mean, Jeezy in a front office position is a big look and is a trustworthy look, I'm sure, in the eyes of the artist. So salute to that.
Shout out to Jeezy. No music time.
But yeah, let's get off that news. 45 minutes of news. Let's get into this new music. There's a ton.
You wild out.
God, there's a ton of fun. This is probably the most music I've listened to.
I looked at it, I'm like scrolling, I'm like, yo, what the hell?
In 1 week, but I promise I'm gonna make it short and condensed. I promise.
Alright.
But of course, let's get into the music that has come out. Let's let people know what they can listen to. Future and Lil Uzi Vert came out with Pluto X Baby Pluto.
Yep.
Kodak Black came out with Bill Israel. And of course, we're talking about projects, albums right now. 2 Chainz came out with So Help Me God.
So Help Me God.
Aesop Rock came out with Spirit World Field Guide. Nav came out with the bonus version, the Nav and Weezy Emergency Tsunami project that came out. Was that last week or 2 weeks?
It came out last week.
Last week, yeah. Doughboy and Southside came out with Demons Are Us. Blac Youngsta came out with Fuck Everybody 3. Salaam Remi came out with Black on Purpose. Goodie Mob came out with Survival Kit. Lil Tracy came out with Designer Talk 2. NBA Youngboy came out with Until I Return. Joey Fats came out with G-Way. DJ K Slade came out with Homage. Apparently there's a track on there with 50 features.
What the hell?
50 features.
How long is that track?
That's a lot. Lord help me God. YG, the Canadian artist, Y question mark G, came out with Killer by Myself. DaniLeigh came out with Movie. Sosa Man came out with Born to Drip.
Sosa Man.
K Camp came out with Kiss 5 Deluxe. And that's all I got on album. I thought there were a few more releases.
Oh, did you say DaniLeigh?
I did. Yeah, that one's called.
You said K Camp?
No, I didn't.
K Camp.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So for singles, in that case,
sorry, you know Barry? I think is that Aesop Barry? Just to Aesop Barry? Did he get kicked out of Aesop? I don't know. Either way, okay, sorry. So
but if he got kicked out of Aesop, it would make sense that his name is just Barry.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Singles.
Yes.
Your favorite record of the holidays? Lil Nas X came out with a record called Holiday.
What's his gimmick now? Like I was looking at him, like, what are they doing to him? Like
young music and borderline, not country, but borderline including country instruments.
Did you listen to the song?
I listened to 15 seconds.
Did it include country? I would ask because I want to.
I feel like it had that feel to it, like you know that hip hop, but include banjo.
Yeah.
Like it had that feel to it.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yes, I get it. That's a good way to say it. It's hip hop, but it had a banjo.
But include the banjo. That's all it really is.
Okay.
But it had that feel to it. And it had that feel that, Toys R Us would have it in their commercial and Gap.
He's like kind of pop. He's going pop, hip hop pop.
But he already is a pop star,
pop,
right?
Yeah.
He already is. You can tell just by the way he's marketed that he's a pop star. So
I
yeah,
just
very
didn't
much
know
goes in that direction.
I just didn't know which way they were trying to push him.
From the 15 seconds that I heard, I mean, for all I know, that
Fair
was like
enough.
the bridge or something.
I believe you.
We got in terms of singles, Rico Nasty came out with OHFR, like Oh For Real. Lil Nas X with Holiday, Kanye West with Nah Nah Nah, featuring DaBaby and 2 Chainz. That's the remix. Masego came out with Mystery Lady. That's actually off of his EP. Maybe I didn't mention him, but
yeah, you didn't because he's not on the list, but you did.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Masego came out with an EP.
Study Abroad.
Run the Jewels came out with No Save Point. Toby Lou came out with OK featuring Dreezy. Broad Wave came out with All Week. RMR, Rumor, whatever they're called, came out with Wish Hour.
What guy?
Thundercat came out with Fair Chance. That's the Floating Points remix, featuring Ty Dolla $ign and Lil B.
This guy really put 303 in here.
I don't know who 303 is.
They're like a rock band.
Okay. King Crooked came out with Who Am I?
Did you say Wiz Khalifa?
I probably skipped a bunch of them, to be honest.
Wiz Khalifa and Empire of the Sun came out with The Thrill. Jaden came out with I'm Ready from Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is the video game. Fetty Wap came out with White Linen. Weezy came out with Guillotine featuring Future and Yo Gotti. Let's get into what you listen to.
Okay, no, I did listen to a lot though. I listened to a lot, but there are
I listened to not as much as you, but quite a few of these.
There's quite a few projects here that I can get through very quickly. I think I can knock off more than half of this list in the next 10 minutes.
Go.
I'm probably lying though. But
yes,
I'm going to start with Goodie Mob. Goodie Mob came out with one called Survival Kit. This one is 16 songs at 53 minutes. I know Goodie Mob's place in hip-hop, and I know who Goodie Mob is in 2020. And I know that at the end of the day, it's music for older folks.
It is.
Right? But for some reason, I still expected a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But it also was just like a cool listen.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of features, they're going to call it people's. There's 2 features on here. One is Andre 3000. The other is Big Boy. Go figure.
Of course. Who else?
But that Andre 3000 record is really good. That one's called No Cigar.
Andre snapped on his verse?
Andre definitely snapped on his verse, and I would say that probably the best song of that album. Play a little bit of Andre's part.
My lyrics are lethal like shit on your feet.
When I heard the beat, I heard the
Wait, where is it?
Please don't join your blood for a fool. I'm from the school of Black Smoke. God, move. Receiving the blessing. God, no cigar.
So that you know blood. I do the off work, smoke a block, go far. Niggas rolling up roaches when the shit got short.
Pause just for you.
Bitch on the porch, walk back to it. I'm hula hooping, double dutching, kickballing that hoe. New maneuver, no discussion, fuck them all of them hoes. What's the dungeon or home? Home for misfits, sleeping on the floor, then wake up when you smell something lit.
Sure.
So a really good 3000 feature on
Shout
there.
out to 3 Stacks.
I did make it through about 10, 11 records on this album. Again, I mentioned it's 16 songs. And again, it was a cool listen. Definitely want to finish it, but nothing about it blew me away, respectfully, of course.
Just
but again,
nostalgia, good people.
Goodie Mob.
You know what you're getting from them.
Exactly, it's Goodie Mob. You hear CeeLo's voice and it's a very distinct voice. You get happy about that.
Exactly.
Another project I can talk pretty quickly about is Aesop Rock. So I wanted to give this a listen. Okay. Aesop Rock, not Aesop Rocky, Aesop Rock.
Aesop Rock.
That one is called Spirit World Field Guide. Now this one's 21 songs at 73 minutes.
Jeez, that's long.
The intro definitely sets the tone on that one. And he's literally giving you a guide on how to listen to this album.
Okay.
And I found it to be very interesting because I never personally tuned into his catalog.
Yeah.
But it felt expected that he would do something like that.
I'm not surprised he did that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he did that. Let me put a little bit of that instructional manual.
Tips, warning. But I felt it necessary to stay the course in hopes that these insights may be illuminating for some.
I wanted to get specifically this part right over here.
There are days I fear my work will only serve to create more confusion about what I have found, but I felt it necessary to stay the course.
So I mentioned that, and then there's this part.
Warnings, maps, drawings, and more. Contained within are anecdotes, recipes, survival tips, warnings, maps, drawings, and more. All organized in an effort to promote safe travel and interdimensional awareness. While this arrangement highlights the basic chronology of my experiences, users should skip to whatever section most directly applies to their impending scenario. As noted.
So you can obviously tell where Logic got inspiration from in terms, obviously we know he got it from more of a Midnight Marauders, he's talked about that, but you can tell Logic did his research on these types of rappy rappers, right? But it very much is a rappy rap type of project. I compare, for those that have never listened to Aesop Rock.
Tell me.
Very modern Lupe-esque. And it's very wordy.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways, it's just rappity rap. In a lot of ways, you're not saying nothing, but in a lot of ways, you're saying crazy shit. And I can see why when we looked at lists, he was the most worded artist per record.
You can tell by the words in his songs.
Absolutely. So I'll play a record.
Yeah, I want to hear one of his songs.
This was called Pizza Alley.
He should be able to. Like, you're not signed, right? You're not signed?
I have no idea.
He's underground, right?
You know what I mean? Like, just really
very wordy.
Very wordy. Play another one randomly here. This one's called Button Masher. So, you know, just very, you know, basic rappity rap in a lot of ways, and I mean basic very respectfully, in that he just stays in that rappity rap lane.
Yeah, he's not experimenting.
He's not, you know, gonna blow you away. But if you are an Aesop Rock fan, even without me digging into his catalog, I would imagine that you're pretty satisfied with this.
Okay. Shout out to Aesop Rock.
I got through a lot of it. I think I actually got through all of it. And again, it's a 73-minute project, so it did catch my attention enough to finish it. So it is worth listening. It is worth exploring. If it is a name that you've heard, and maybe one day I'll listen to them. This is not a bad project to pick up on as that first listen. So definitely a decent one for sure. And then I think I can quickly mention. I swear they do it purposely. It's the funniest thing ever. I'll briefly talk about Ransom, and the reason why Ransom would be a very short discussion.
This sounds so familiar.
This one's called Deleted Scenes. So this one is 6 songs at 14 minutes, and the reason why it sounds so familiar to you is because I've been talking about Ransom all year.
Came out about early. Yes,
which was a good one. He came out with
something earlier,
which was a good one. I thought the other director's cuts as well were 2020 as well. I could be wrong there.
There was one like in January, and then the other one. I think director's cut was in January.
Something like
and then
that.
Something else came out later.
But he's come out with a lot of music in 2020, and I actually think he's sort of a dark horse, like, you know, that guy that just gets snubbed from the All-Star team, even though he's averaging 24 and 8.
Beal?
Like, he's like that kind of guy. Not Beal, because Beal's superstar stats. But I feel like that guy that Drew Holiday type player that, like, come on, it's fucking Drew Holiday. You're telling me you're snubbing this guy?
I see what you're saying.
It's like, you know what I
get
mean?
it.
So it's one of those. It really is more of the same from Ransom, you know, especially this year. And again, that is a good thing. I am gonna play a little bit of track 3, but that one's called Final Destination. He has a bar on there. He says, "Business is a joy when you figure out what your stock's worth. Trying to find who you are, just eliminate who you're not first." So there's Ransom bars, there's great bars, there's fucking Ransom being Ransom. Let's play a little bit of that one. Deleted Scenes. That one again is called Final Destination.
Tomorrow I'm a giant that Joe judges. They gon' defy us and so want us. But if this carries on, we gon' ride for 4 summers. Business is a joy when you figure out what your stock's worth. Trying to find who you are, just eliminate who you not first. My life is better, but the block's worse. So rest in peace, Shock, for seeing you laying up in that box hurts.
So again, a lot more of the same from Ransom. If you've been satisfied with Ransom this year, add 6 more records to that Ransom collection, because it definitely is a good one. And again, I've really been on top of Ransom projects this year, very enjoyably. So, oh man, we are dying.
Yeah, it's funny.
Dying.
It's funny.
If you know, you know, right? IYKYK. IYKYK.
He say it like that.
And that is definitely the name of the episode at this point. Yeah. You can always lead back to it. But Ransom Deleted Scenes, worth a listen, worth a download. Add it to your collection of really good music that Ransom has released this year. And again, I think if there was a MVP candidate type of award, not to say Ransom would get it, but he would have to. Like,
he would get some first place votes.
He would be in the top 6 vote. Like, he has to
get a few votes. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, he would have low-key more votes than, I don't even want to be controversial. But no, shout out to Ransom. It's a real good project, Deleted Scenes. Moving on to... which ones did you listen to?
I listened to Uzi.
Okay.
I listened to Blac Youngsta, and I listened to 2 Chainz.
Okay, so you did not listen to Masego.
No.
Masego Studying Abroad was the name of the project. I didn't mention it earlier. That one's 6 songs at 16 minutes. He did mention, because they like to do impromptu interviews on the Joe Budden podcast, and I do appreciate that. He mentioned that he was experimenting a lot with this. He just kind of put music out. It's called Studying Abroad, and he mentioned that the name was intentionally double entendre-esque. Studying abroad, studying abroad, like a disrespectful term for a woman. You know what I mean. A few records on here. I mean, track 2 is called Silver Tongue Devil. That has a day party type of vibe to it.
Okay.
Track 3 is called Mystery Lady featuring Don Toliver. I actually think you'd like this one.
I'm not a fan of Don Toliver. You know that too.
Let's see here. Like super wild. I thought you liked Don Toliver, to be honest.
I tried to like him, but I felt like it was being forced down my throat.
Okay, that's fair. I'll skip that record then.
No, you can play. Like, I don't mind him. Don't get me wrong. Like, to be honest, he's actually kind of grown on me a little bit. But yeah, play it though. I might like it. You know, he's growing on me. I don't mind that. That's actually not a bad track.
I like the direction he's going on, that very thug-esque in the way that he attacked that vocally. Track 4 is called Polygamy. Funny title for such a record where he's super singing on this one. Let's play a little bit of that. Jeez, that's actually a super bar. Gemini Games, so many faces. Yikes. And then there's a track called By Felicia. I really enjoyed that one. That's probably my favorite song on the project. So I mean, that's the kind of vibe you're getting from this Masego project. Just a cool project to throw on.
It's not bad.
I think he's from out west. I could be wrong. So you're getting that out west day party, throw it on when women are around type of feel to it. Again, I like quite a few records on here that stood out to me. It's a quick little project, 6 songs in 16 minutes, and it's definitely worth a download. That's without a doubt. It's definitely worth a download. Let me see which ones I've also listened to that you didn't. Salaam Remi, I won't spend too much time on this, but this one is called Black on Purpose. 17 songs at 59 minutes. Track 2 is called No Peace, and that one starts with Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes came in super hard in my opinion. Let me just load up this album here. For those that don't know Salaam Remi, of course, he is a producer. You know, a lot of hip hop, jazz influence, a lot of soul influence, a lot of reggae influence as well. And he's been around for a very long time, very well respected, damn near legendary status, if not already. So definitely got to give him his flowers. Track 2, No Peace.
No Peace.
So very, very intentionally loud with the beat, and what I really love about just producer projects in general, especially something like a Salaam Remi, you're listening for the features as much as you're listening for the production.
Yep.
So it's giving you more intent on listening to this. That No Peace record also features Mumu Fresh, who goes super hard on that. Mumu Fresh is a great rapper, vocalist in general. She's a great artist. Black Thought is also on that, and Dougie Fresh is on that as well.
Dougie Fresh.
And I think there was another name on there. It's just the feature list is too long for me to see on Spotify, so I do apologize because it was a name that I was supposed to say. Write that down because you're gonna forget. There's a few other records on this one. Track 4 is called "Coming Out of the Rain," and just for note there, he's working with Bilal on that record specifically. So just showing you the range, you can go from a loud Busta Rhymes type of record to track 4. Just to, again, not to spend too much time on this album, I'm gonna read some of the names based on what Spotify is showing me versus what it's blocking out because there's too many names. Busta Rhymes, Mumu Fresh, Black Thought, Dougie Fresh, CeeLo Green.
You click the 3 dots, it goes to like view artist or view credits or song credits.
Oh no, it went to Dougie Fresh. So that's too much time. Tidra Moses, D Nice, Mac Wilds, Black Thought, Common, Case. That Case record is phenomenal.
Even though I let you go, I don't really wanna know if you're saying any other days.
And then he has track 9 called Strange Fruit. That one features Betty Wright and James Poyser. Strange Fruit is exactly what you think it is. Kanye used it on Blood on the Leaves. Who else used it as well? Someone else used that.
Blood on the Leaves.
So let's play that. This is a reprise.
Black bodies swinging in that southern breeze.
Yeah, this episode's definitely getting taken down after playing that
Oh,
record.
it's
Yikes.
How much people are getting so much money for that record?
And then you have, again, I mentioned the Jamaican influence as well. You have, Stephen Marley's on a record,
Jeez.
Supercat's on a record. Who else
Did
here?
they get that white guy's son? What's his name? Fuck, I forgot what the joke.
Stop this.
You know,
I'll give you that.
Chet, what's his name?
Chet Hanks?
Yeah, you get Chet Hanks on this track?
No, but they did get Spraga Benz.
Spraga Benz.
Yeah, there's a lot of good records on this, man. There's a lot of good records.
Shout out to Salaam Remi, man.
On this project. I like track 10 a lot. Is It Because I'm Black? It's one of those anthem type of records. Of course, I did make a black playlist for BKC at one point, Blank Canvas Creatives. Check them out on Facebook. And this is one of those type of records. Yeah. One of those type of records, and the reason why it feels the way that it does is because that, of course, is Anthony Hamilton singing, so that's why you can feel the pain in that. B. Trenton's also on that record, Black Thought, CeeLo Green, Salaam Remi, of course, Stephen Marley, and Selena Johnson, which is a name I haven't heard since Kanye. So that's a big record there. Again, really enjoyable album. Album for a slightly older music ear in terms of appreciating the jazz influence, appreciating when he has reggae influences, and just everything that Salaam Remi does. This is just another project in his catalog that goes way back to the motherfucking 80s, if we're being real. So, shout out to that one, Black on Purpose, worth a download. 17 songs, 59 minutes, and really worth all 59 of those minutes, for sure. I'll quickly touch on, just so we can get to the ones that we listened to together, I'll quickly touch on DaniLeigh, and then we'll move on to the ones that we both listened to. So DaniLeigh came out with one. This is 16 songs at 43 minutes.
I was tempted on this one, but I wanted you to tell me how
Have you listened to DaniLeigh before?
Her. I don't know that song. That was like her blow up song. But I feel that's not her sound.
Was that a club record?
It was a club record. But I knew that was not her sound, so I didn't want to listen to this and be disappointed.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, because track 1 started exactly where I wanted it to. This one's called Superstar. Straight to the playlist.
Yep, see, so it's the wrong thing that I knew I didn't want it, that's why I didn't listen to it.
Straight to TNV Presents the playlist. Go look that up on Spotify.
Go look that up.
But it's funny that you said that, and I'm really glad you said that, because There's a track on here, track 6 called Mistreated. It gives me Big Sean, I Don't Fuck With You vibes, and I feel like it's like the woman version of it. This one features Queen Ija.
I'm not being mistreated.
I don't fuck with you.
I know stupid girl can't fucking with you. Y'all used to say that.
I'd rather fucking do.
Fucking with you. Yo, stupid ass. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That's like Tiger Flow.
I don't give a fuck about.
You
know what I'm saying?
Take Tiger Flow. Goes to anything.
But I'm glad you mentioned it because I played track 7 and I was like, okay, this one's called Monique.
It's more poppy.
Kind of Dej Loaf-esque, more up-tempo. So I wasn't expecting that because I know DaniLeigh the name, but I haven't tuned into her music. And then track 8 comes on. It's called Dominican Mommy featuring Fivio.
Chee, bop, 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 bop. Bop, bop.
And I'm like, she's touching drill.
This is how I heard her the first time.
So she's touching drill too, and then I said to myself, "What the fuck? She's touching drill too?"
So like when I first heard it, it was like a track like that. It was like a hip hop, like a bumping track. So that's when I liked her.
So now let's mention this. Track 9 is called Levi High with the Baby. Track 10 is called Diamonds on Me featuring Gunna and Yella Breezy.
Oh shit! That album took a switched a
exactly,
turn.
and that's exactly what
it's
it
like
was.
a side B.
So, and then she slows it down a little bit again. Like track 14 is called Baby Say, and that one went straight on the playlist as well. But I'm gonna say this album surprised me from the perspective of it gave me more than I thought I would get. And I didn't know what I would get with DaniLeigh, but the more that it gave me was like a good thing from the perspective of whoa, there's a drill-esque, Dej Loaf-esque, playlist-esque
Song with Gunna.
Song with, Gunna, like Ty Dolla $ign. She has a record with Ty Dolla $ign on there. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of different directions this is going in. And then on the nitpicking side of it, I was like, after the first record, I was like, oh, maybe this could be one of those albums, like a Teyana Taylor.
Kehlani.
And then it quickly became not that. So again, it's
were you disappointed that it wasn't that?
No, not at all. I was like, this is good music.
You enjoyed this.
This is good fucking music.
Like,
So
I like that it showed her like range.
yeah,
It showed her range. Like I'm gonna make the Kehlani type songs, and I'm gonna make the not city girl, but that lane-ish.
yeah.
type
If somebody
song.
said like, put me on DaniLeigh, this would be a project I'm comfortable with to say, yo,
You will
listen to
find
the
something
entire
for you.
thing. You'll get a good idea of everything about DaniLeigh. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's the case. That was my best attempt. So I'm going to apologize because this episode is going to be longer than 90 minutes. We're already at minute number 75.
Jeez.
So
We're going through
let's
this.
talk about what we listened
Blac
to
Youngsta.
together. Blac Youngsta.
Because that would be the quickest one.
Definitely. Fuck Everybody 3. Whore.
Whore.
I liked it, man.
I enjoyed it. I always enjoy Blac Youngsta albums. I like all the features. I forgot who he has on as well. All his features were really good. I felt like he fit in really well with his features. Like it was all in all. It felt like when I listen to him, I feel like he's having fun.
Yeah.
And I like that because that energy rubs off on me. So I'm having fun listening to him.
Lil Baby, Moneybagg Yo, Lil Durk, Da Baby, Lil Migo, J90, Sway Lee, Stunner for Vegas, Yo Gotti, and 42 Doug.
That's like down near A1.
I still enjoy Code Red more though. The one with him and Moneybagg Yo.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
That was.
But this was a good record. I mean,
was.
this was a good project. I mean, he doesn't blow me away lyrically. He's not designed
Yeah,
to blow
but
me away
that's
lyrically.
not his job. If you think you're gonna do that, you're the wrong person. This is Aesop Rock.
It's just fun. It's like you said. I think it's fun.
It's the energy.
It's
energy. I call it energy music, and that's what he does, man. That's why they need features.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah. So shout out to Blac Youngsta. That's it.
That's really all I got there. Okay.
The other two was
Uzi and Future.
Yeah, this was Uzi and Future.
That's
I
good.
didn't like it.
Tell me why.
It felt like Uzi was trying to do the same thing on every song, and it wasn't his. It wasn't Uzi. He wasn't doing his vocal ranges. He wasn't doing his switching the flows up. He kept trying to do like a Future style. I feel like every song was Future featuring Uzi. I feel like it was Future made a track, sent it to Uzi. Uzi put on it. Like that's how it felt.
That's true. I did feel that as well. Like
And,
that dynamic felt like it was a Future record with Uzi on it. You're right.
Like there was maybe like 2 or 3 tracks I felt like Uzi was Uzi on. The other track, I didn't feel like it was the Uzi I like. Maybe it was just Uzi I like. And like about 4 or 5 songs in, I was like, this kind of just sounds the same. Like they don't switch it up.
Yeah.
It can only,
and that's the thing about Future, right? He has that like rhythmic style where he just never changes it.
And that's what I was gonna say. The only time I ever heard a Future collab album that I actually liked was with Young Thug. And I actually think it's because of Young Thug's style that made Future's
contrast.
Yeah.
Vocally or range wise.
His Juice WRLD album I didn't like either.
Yeah.
His Drake album, okay, it was kind of fire. But I feel like Drake was the one that made that fire. It's the Drake bars we remember. It's not the Future bars we remember.
Future's just like after you cool off from the Drake, you're like, this part's still hard.
Exactly.
This part's still hard too.
That's like Future. I feel like maybe he's not a collab person. He's just collab with a song maybe, but not an album.
I mean, I still think he is a collab person. I mean, he definitely is one of those cheat code type of features, at least perceptually.
For a song, I think, not for an album.
True.
I don't think anyone should be collab.
So he's Ty Dolla $ign, you're saying?
No, he's not. Maybe he is.
Shit, but
did you like it?
I thought it was okay.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, Uzi. It's interesting what you said about Uzi, because I think for Uzi, for me, I didn't know whether to take it in a good way or a bad way. That I felt like he was trying to be more serious and grown on some records, and it wasn't necessarily via copying Future. It was more so like, this nigga's rapping, or this guy. I don't really say the N-word. This guy's rapping. Like he's not like playing him with the voice. He's not. There's a track called Lullaby. Let's just look it up here.
I like Lullaby. I liked Plastics. I liked I think the one after Plastics.
I got an answer, whip it up in the kitchen, no potatoes, got mashed up. Man, you see I don't care about love. I got on topic, I start talking about the drugs and all of the profit in it. Talking about the shit I learned.
He sounds like a Philly rapper.
He does.
He does.
And
I actually thought it was a good thing, because I think Lil Uzi, and tell me if you agree with this, I think Lil Uzi needs an exit plan.
He does. I fully agree with you, and that's why I'm not mad that he's doing it. I just didn't like it.
So when I hear that I'm actually trying to rap type of stuff that I hear from him, like I hear on track 11.
He does need an exit plan, because he can't be doing this. He can't be making songs for 18-year-olds when you're 29.
As equally as I say, I don't love it, is as much as I say, this is like when Meek started singing for me. I was like,
I'm not loving it.
And then 2 years later, I was like, it's an element of Meek now. So I feel like Uzi maybe used this project, or maybe just used a few records to say, you know what, let me start sprinkling that side of me.
So at least I'm getting it out there, practicing. Because
someone like me, I caught up on that. I picked up on that, I should say. So I have to imagine it's intentional. But it was interesting. That perspective of it was interesting, for sure. But I mean, like the project is just, put it on
and walk around.
Ain't nothing to really pull from it.
Yes.
Nothing to stand out from it.
Nothing to stand out. Like the 2 singles were way better, and they weren't even on it.
I did play it in a car ride, and it sounded good.
I played in the car.
One last hot day that we had left this year.
Damn. Sad.
It is. But yeah, I mean, it's decent. That's all I can really say about it.
So I'm assuming you didn't listen to the Kodak Black?
I did not listen to Kodak Black. I kind of wanted to, but I just didn't get around to it.
It wasn't my top priority. I never got around to it. Like, if no other album came out, I probably would listen to it.
For sure.
But those other stuff.
Okay, so
2 Chainz!
That one's called So Help Me God. 15 songs at 49 minutes. How did you feel about this album from 2 Chainz?
2 Chainz is a legacy act. He has his own in my head, in my music
your personal
brain.
Music opinion.
He has his own residency in Vegas, and every time you go to Vegas, you're going to see a 2 Chainz show, and it's going to be fun because 2 Chainz has the charisma, and you know what you're going to get. It's not going to wow you, but it's also not going to be shit. It's going to be like sometimes make you chuckle. You're going to bump, and that's what 2 Chainz is to me, and that's what I got from this album. 2 Chainz has never disappointed me with an album. I'll also put it that way. But it's not like he's ever wowed me at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So none of this really wows you.
Look, it was good.
Yeah.
It was way better than average, but it wasn't like, oh my god, album of the year.
Yeah, no, I do agree. Again, this was one of the first albums I listened to this week, or last week, I guess I should say. And I did listen to it in the car ride as well. And 3 or 4 songs in, I was like, I don't know what to take notes of. I guess I got a kick out of track 2 because it's called Gray Area, and he's talking about being in a gray area.
Yeah.
So I got a kick out of that, and I'm like, okay, track 5, features Lil Duval.
So you get those funny lines from him.
I like the fact that Lil Duval is every record Lil Duval touches is fucking amazing, right?
It's fucking fire. He's funny.
Does well, I should say. And then track 6 came on.
Shit, that was a fire
Track 6 came on. Kanye, Fayez. That was called Feel Away. I thought Kanye sounded really good on that. I did like the bit of back and forth that
I love that.
Kanye and 2 Chainz had. So let's play that one around the 220 mark. Oh, first click.
When Larry Jackson called, they let Frank Ocean go.
Middle name Mandela, me and Mama sold dope together. I can hear Helen Keller's 15, now I've been a fella. I felt like both spread the message.
I like
can't
that
hear you, Helen Keller. Really? Like, can we stop using that line, man?
Hey, man. Until nah.
Nah.
I thought Kanye was taking shots at Jay-Z.
You thought so?
Where does he talk about? Hold on. I think it was here.
Still reppin' Rockefeller.
Yeah, so he says I put the diamond up, you're still repping Rockefeller.
Oh, you still reppin' Rockefeller.
And then pay attention to the names that he says and what he says about them.
Me and Dame in the studio, me and Biggs in the studio.
Cream Biggs.
Yeah.
And I bet they feel away. 13,000 niggas, I don't know where to say.
So all he said was, and I bet they feel away.
Was the first thing he said Dame?
Yeah, he says I'm with Dame in the studio balling up.
Yeah.
I'm with Biggs, and I don't know if his first name is Cream. I don't know why I said that.
I think Kareem Biggs is like a bad. It's a bad. It's not a. It's like that. You know that guy that big guy that like makes jokes with dribbling and shooting.
Oh,
I think that's Kareem Biggs. I think that's Kareem Biggs.
My fault.
I get what you're saying. I knew who you were saying.
I'm with Dame. I'm with Biggs in the studio, and I bet they feel away.
Oh yeah, that's a digger. That's a digger thing. Yeah, of course. Like if you chilling with the op, I'm gonna feel away.
He names 2 of 3 Rockefeller, and it says I bet you feel away. I don't think Jay-Z feels away about that.
Not like he feels away, but like as in like yo, don't like I don't fuck with these guys, and you're fucking like you're doing that on purpose to try and get like you know. I'm not saying Jay-Z feels away.
I do also wonder how factual that bar is, because if it is facts, I love that. I love the fact that Dame and Kanye are talking, working. I mean, they never had a rift. They were always cool with one another, but I would like for them to publicly work together. Biggs as well. I'd like to see that. Quarantine Thick, track 7, featuring the Queen of the Souf. What'd you say?
Souf.
Queen of the Souf.
Souf.
That one, that to me was like, oh, I'm listening to a 2 Chainz album. That was like 7 tracks in. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, finally the 2 Chainz album.
From well, another cause she ate it, but Masego in the club, I make him break it up.
I'm like, okay, finally, and then Mulatto smokes.
I know, Clayco raised me, fuck that Clayco made me. Bitch, you ain't gon' shoot shit if you ride with it on safe.
She's fire, man. Like rapping wise, I think she's one of like she has potential to be one of the good ones.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
For sure. I know you were like,
I'm gonna say gold. Yeah,
relax.
Yo, like she has potential to be good.
I need that Ari sound like
relax.
Track 8 features Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates, come on, man. Come on, what we doing?
When I heard the marathon, Kevin Gates slept on, man. Slept on.
Come on, man. What we doing? Where's that at? 210. I want to play from 210.
Go shop for Chanel friends. Tracking the device on the back of the car, but I'm thugging. I know how to sell weight. Quiet not cut, I'm controlling the gutter. Bitch, I'm from the slum where they sell age.
Yo, when I heard that guitar, I went crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, I went crazy. I think you summed it up best. It's like, it's a project that's not gonna disappoint you. Mm-hmm. One thing that I did notice is that this album took a while to warm up, in my opinion, because that middle section went crazy.
It did.
And funny enough, as much as I love that Kanye record, that wasn't the start of the crazy to me. Mm-hmm. But then when you go back and you're like, no, that was the start. That was probably the song of the album.
The Kanye record, yeah.
When the song after it, when it sounded so 2 Chainz-esque, I was like, okay.
Boom, boom. The club anthem.
We're kind of there. And then the next song was Kevin Gates. And the next song was Free Lighter featuring Uzi and Keef, and Chief Keef killed it.
Chief Keef bodied it.
Chief Keef killed it.
I was loving Keef.
That record, Tony, was good. That record, Southside Hove, was good. I like the sample that he used on that. Like once you use that, like Hove used it on I'm Feeling It, Mary J used it on Take Me As I Am. Once you use that sample,
Round with my own shoehorn. This type of flow, I give the opposition goosebumps. I saw my dad die and told that nigga, wake up.
That's a cheat code sample to use, so I enjoyed that. But yeah, I mean that middle section is what stood out to me. Let's say 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's say arbitrarily to some degree. Like that part of the album made the album worth downloading for me. Because at first I was like, oh, I like it, but
exactly, nothing special.
I don't know what to do with it, right? But that little middle section of the album made it worth downloading for sure. Do you have a rating for "So Help Me God" by 2 Chainz?
I'll give it 7.5.
Yeah.
It's above average. Actually, I'll probably go to 8.
I'm gonna go lower.
Okay.
I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna go with a 7.
Okay.
I'll go with a 7. Again, I thought it was enjoyable. It just took too long to warm up. You can't take that long because not every listener is me.
Exactly.
I will give a project 19 records to capture me.
I'm not. Skip by track 5. Like if I skipped you 3 songs already by track 5, you've not gonna.
And I can see how after the first 3 or 4 on this one, you would be uninterested. So I would say again, maybe listen to it through and through. Give it a chance. Listen to it in the right environment.
It's 2 Chainz, man. It's legacy. Just give him the respect of being 2 Chainz to get to the middle.
And I give it a 7 out of 10 as a result.
Fair enough.
I actually think we covered all the music.
We did.
Okay, great. So we'll barely be above 90 minutes in that case. Let's talk about our rotation. What is in your rotation, sir? Mine is really short.
Mine's going to be short too.
Go ahead when you're ready.
So I bumped Icebreaker by Lil Barrett. Look, is he still going? The Search by NF. Emergency Tsunami by Nav and Weezy. I really like that album, I'm not gonna lie. Weezy,
it's good. It's a good album, man. I bumped that in the right setting. I bumped that while I was
meditating.
Literally back home. And yeah, man, that's some good shit.
I bumped here we go. I bumped a lot of King Von, which is Welcome to O Block. I bumped a lot of Made in Tokyo, Never Forgotten. Ty Dolla Sign's album featuring Ty Dolla Sign. I still love that album. Honestly, The Goat by
Polo G.
I don't
know why you always forget that. And I remember
because it always moves to the end of the new stuff. Because I probably listened to it like yesterday night or something.
Yeah.
So and I don't scroll that far. Because that's all the new stuff. I start seeing the new stuff.
That's true.
And I'm starting my album of the year listening.
Okay.
So Rumor, Drug Dealing is a Lost Art. That came out in June of this year, so I'm gonna give that. I'm actually giving that a few listens because I really liked it.
Yeah. So you were bumping that.
Yeah, that's about it. Honestly, that's all. That's
Okay.
what I bumped.
Okay. So for my list, then, When I Get Home by Solange, of course. I love that album a lot. For some reason, I felt like bumping The Carter by Lil Wayne, of course, 2004 album. I want to start talking about hip hop the same way that older people talk about jazz, where whenever they mention the name and the artist, they always mention the year. I want to make that a thing, right? So, Lil Wayne's 2004 album, The Carter, I bumped that. Solange's When I Get Home album, of course, from 2019. I bumped some Van Jess. I don't know if you fuck with Van Jess.
Never heard of them.
There's a duo singers. I don't know if they're
VANJESS.
Yeah, like one word, Van Jess.
Oh no, never heard of them. Good.
They are good.
Like Haley Chloe.
They should be. Shout out to Chechi, Run the Tape podcast.
Shout out to Run the Tape.
They should be as big as Chloe and Haley, according to her.
Wow.
And we kind of know why they're not, because they're Nigerian dark-skinned women. But we're not gonna have that conversation because we're not the platform to do it.
No, we are not.
I bumped Groove Thing by Van Jess, which is their most recent single that came out last week. And I did some artist play, just Van Jess, artist shuffle, do your thing. I bumped The Imperfect Storm by Wale, of course, that's his EP that came out this year. I bumped Burden of Proof by Benny the Butcher, again, his album that came out this year. I went back to Boogie, Everything's for Sale,
That's
his
a hard
2019
album.
project, of course. that from January 2019, and that was in my album of the year conversation at the time.
It was.
I went back in 2017 and I bumped Layla's Wisdom by Rhapsody. You know, a lot of coverage for her album Eve, of course, over the last year and a half and change. You almost forget how good Layla's Wisdom is. That was the project that glued me onto Rhapsody and said, she is it. That was the project for me.
Shout out to Rhapsody.
And technically, I think that was considered a debut. I think.
Was it?
I think
no,
so.
I don't even know anymore.
Album, in terms of that. I bumped Reasonable Doubt by Jay-Z, of course, after bumping that 2 Chainz sample that he uses. I went back and I bumped Reasonable Doubt by Jay-Z. Of course, that's his album going back to 1996. And then the last project that I bumped was probably one of my favorite projects ever.
Okay, I want to hear this.
This is from 2017. And this is from one of the most talented people I've ever heard. Curtis Harding. It's called Face Your Fear.
Oh, you're talking about this
I used to talk about that all the time. I wanted to bring that back because that is such a phenomenal album. If you haven't listened to that, it's soul based. It's it's funk to some degree. I wouldn't call it jazz. I would say it's more of a soul, R&B soul type vibe. He has a record on there called Wednesday Morning Atonement that opens up the album. It's phenomenal. That's a great listening experience. Curtis Harding. I would definitely recommend people listen to that 2017 project. Other than that, again, just the new stuff, right? So let's get off of that. Let's get off of the music that we listen to. Let's get into that post-potpourri. You see what happened with Ubisoft Montreal?
I remember just hearing there was a hostage.
Yeah, there was a hostage situation. Police were out. People were on roofs.
Oh shit! What happened?
All I was thinking was people watch too much fucking Money Heist. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Because it felt very Money Heist-esque.
I want to watch Money Heist.
That's a
new
great
episodes.
show. That's a great show. I love that show. Apparently it was a prank. And not to say a prank as in the police being there, but a prank as in there really was no hostage.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to find the person that did the prank because it caused a commotion and it made international news.
Of course, yeah, it's
right?
hostage. That shit's fucking serious.
Very serious. So yeah, I mean, just a random mention of that. Go look that up. It happened at Ubisoft, which is a gaming company, of course, in Montreal. So go look that up if you want to get the full story on that. And then, do you have anything for post-potpourri?
No, I had nothing.
A couple fights.
Pow.
A couple of fights that will be over by the time this podcast comes out. So I thought I would do, a little mini prediction.
Of course, get
By
some
the
money
time
up.
you listen to this episode, there's really only two good fights that are on this weekend. In the UFC, we have Rafael Dos Anjos versus Paul Felder.
Oh, sorry.
Dos Anjos should beat Felder. Felder does commentary for the UFC, but is still an active fighter, but is kind of not, right? It's like, it's like Candace Parker. Are you in the league, or are you in the league, or
are you doing television?
You know what I mean?
Happening?
Except Candace Parker is the GOAT. So that's a different conversation. Yeah. But Paul Felder, as a result, he took this fight on 5 days' notice.
Oh shit!
Actually, Khabib's boy, his name is Islam Makhachev, was supposed to fight Dos Anjos. Pulled out. I don't know if it was COVID related or not. So Felder said, "I'll step up to the plate. I'm a company man. I'll step up to the plate. 5 days notice, and I'll take on one of the best in that division. In that division, right? So I think Rafael Dos Anjos is going to get the job done. I just think he's the better fighter at this point, and compared to Paul Felder, because Paul Felder has a different focus, company man. And I wouldn't be surprised if the company said, "Yo, let RDA win this real quick." You know
of course, yo, you don't have nothing. You really don't have much to lose. Your job, you got a job side. You got a side job. This is his hustle. We need to push some more shows with him. So he needs that W on his record so we can push him for the next fight.
And Dos Anjos being one of the best fighters ever in that weight class, which is the 155-pound weight division, he's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Now, mind you, he's faced the best of the best, but still, he's 1-4. So, and Paul Felder, even though he's somewhat inactive, is still a ranked opponent. I think he's number 8 in the division.
Shit, that's high.
Whereas Dos Anjos, Paul Felder's good. Don't get me wrong. Whereas Dos Anjos, because he moved up to 170, he lost his ranking at 155. So RDA Dos Anjos is coming back down to
So
155.
him beating on number 8 is
Beat
big
Felder,
for
get the number 7 now.
Exactly.
And now you're 2 fights away from a title.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it.
Yes.
I see it.
It's alright, you know
Good
what?
for you, Felder. And then you have a really big boxing fight. Terrence Crawford, who's a pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the game. He's facing Kell Brook, who's a very tough opponent. I think his record's like 36-2.
Jeez.
And he's only lost to Triple G, and he's lost to Errol Spence, who is another pound for pound fighter. And Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence are on a collision course, and you know there's some.
Fights.
I can't. That's a mega fight. I
You're
can't
about
wait
to
for that
fight.
to happen. That being said, Errol Spence did fight Kell Brook already. Errol Spence won by knockout, I think, by TKO, I should say, because Kell Brook took a knee. He had an eye issue, so he took a knee and said it's got to be done. I think it was in round 10, if I'm not mistaken. That said, Kell Brook looked really good, as he always does, and he's a really good competitor, a really good opponent. The perfect opponent, but I just don't think he's going to win. So I look for Crawford to win this fight. Crawford knocks a lot of people out. I don't think he'll knock Kell Brook out. I just think it'll be a good fight, but Crawford should win pretty comfortably on the scorecard, although Kell Brook may have moments early in the fight. Okay. So, again, this episode will come out after this has already happened. So this is just a personal test for myself to see how close am I to the actual result. So please, on that note, cue the music. With that said, that will take us to the end, the unfortunate ends of another episode of True North Views Podcast. We ask one favor of you guys. Please continue that conversation by telling a friend, to tell a friend,
to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend.
Please.
Please tell
You know
them.
what I'm saying? Now, as usual, I go by the name of Harris.
And by now, you should know I'm the script master, Mr. Triple Double himself, 0 assist. Stealing 70 mil from the TTC. I am just Shola.
Okay, so I guess before we depart, because we both have birthday parties to go to.
Hey, it's a birthday. Hey, it's a birthday.
Kids' birthdays parties at that.
It is.
Please just tell them the number 1 rule.
Watch out for the wastemans, y'all.
Yeah, watch out for the wastemans. It's always a rule at all times. Please, 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 it's getting cold out there, so stay warm. You know what I'm saying? It's the True North Views Podcast, episode 130. I like 120. 130 something.
130. 130. It sounds so.
Well, I guess it'll come back after like 130.
Then it's 140.
133.
No, 20 has a. 20 has a twine to it.
Yeah.
There's a TW.
30's like not hitting. True North Views Podcast, I guess. Episode 130.
What up, what up, what up?
Peace.
Let's go.